I'm not allowed to break the rules. Okay then, this happened to me a while back. I used to work for an armored car company while I was in university. It was good money. Because I was classified as part-time, I mostly covered for people. Most of the full-timers loved working with me. The way the company worked, you were set for a 13-hour shift. However, if you managed to complete your run in less than that, you'd still get paid the full shift. I was young, moved fast, and didn't care about breaks if it meant I could get paid for 3 to 4 hours to sit at home instead of working. One of the full-time workers, a real Karen, let's call him Kyle, was just the worst. For some reason, he took it upon himself to tattle on people for anything that he didn't like. If someone weren't wearing their collared shirt under their sweater, he'd run to tell management. If someone was wearing black instead of blue pants, he would tell management. If someone was wearing a company hat that has the company logo but is not an official uniform, he would tell management. No one in the company liked Kyle. Well, one week Kyle's coworker had taken vacation, and my boss scheduled me to replace him. The run is pretty easy. It's commercial day shift, so 90% of the stops are retail stores with less than a few $100 in cash. Because of the amount of money, no one has ever had a problem with one person jumping out and running in, grabbing the money and coming back while the second person stays with the truck. In this shift, I was the driver, so that's what I did. When Kyle was in the store, I would just navigate my phone, look at the people in the area, make sure there were no threats, make sure I wasn't parked in anyone's way, mostly wasting time. Well, one stop, Kyle came back, and I was just finishing up writing an email. Apparently, Kyle wasn't too happy with me taking a few extra seconds to start going, and unbeknownst to me, he took a picture of me behind the wheel on my phone. I had no idea until the next shift, where management came to talk to me about texting and driving. I told them I had no idea what they were talking about, and my manager just said that he had proof I was doing it, and if I did it again, I would be written up. I went to talk to another coworker, who is also the union rep, to figure out what was going on, and he told me Kyle took a picture of me yesterday and complained that I was doing it. I was furious. Cue malicious compliance. My shifts with Kyle were 3 13-hour shifts, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Well, today was now Thursday, our last shift of this run, and this shift was not retail pickups. It was the run that takes all the money collected from the previous week and brings it to our provincial depot about 400 kilometers away. The entire run only has about 30 minutes of work and about 9 hours of driving. Well, I was going to make sure this shift lasted as long as possible. If he didn't want me to break any rules, I'd make sure I obliged. I drove exactly the speed limit the entire way. I even stopped for our 1-hour lunch break, which is given to us. But I had not witnessed anyone take in the years I'd been here because of the rules we had about pay. In fact, we were so behind, we reached the major city our depot was located in right at rush hour, something our early start time was designed to prevent. All in all, what should have taken about 9 hours to do ended up taking 14. An extra 5 hours where he just had to sit there and watch me in silence. To make things sweeter, a few times during the shift he had to call his wife and let her know he wouldn't be home early enough to go to the cottage, and they would have to leave the next day instead. I heard from other workers how furious he was and how I'd ruined his plans for the weekend, and all I could do was smile. Where I live, going 15 to 20 kilometers an hour above the speed limit is standard. Going the speed limit will just get someone smashing into your rear bumper. Also, our trucks have a max speed of 105 kilometers an hour, and most the drive is either 80 kilometers an hour or 100 kilometers an hour.